Video time! Video time! Woo! Video time! Magandang good evening mga ka-quarantine. How are you doing? How you doing? Quarantine been treating you right? Huh? Still sane? Hope everyone's been productive.
Coronavirus! Coronavirus! Get it real!
You know what grinds my gears? You know what pushes my buttons? Boredom. Boredom. Now it's okay. You know, boredom's fine. That means that you have free time. That means that you can do whatever the hell you want. But boredom and isolation, ooh, baby, you got another thing coming. I'm sorry if the light deteriorates throughout the duration of this video. I'm relying heavily on natural light, and it is 4:48 on the clock, so let's make this quick. Thankfully enough, instead of spending my time lying down on the ground staring at the ceiling and allowing my existential crisis to eat me whole, I have turned to some wholesome hobbies during this quarantine to keep myself busy, productive, and sane. Some of these include cooking, baking, gardening, and dancing, which we'll all get to in a bit. Why? I don't know. Nobody asked for this, but when the hell has that ever stopped me? Hopefully you'll be able to empathize with the struggles that I went through this quarantine and watching this video. And probably get to know me a little bit better. Okay, hobby number 1, cooking. I love cooking. I've always loved cooking. But when you have to cook every day for your family, it becomes a necessity. Because if you don't cook, then your family will starve and die. That never, stopped me from enjoying it though. Like just the other day, I made a really simple spaghetti sauce, which was basically heating up some vegetable oil in a pan, taking some ground meat, pork or beef, your choice, brown it a bit, stir it around, get that liquid out of it, seasoning it with salt and pepper, some chili flakes, some thyme, oregano. Let those flavors get to, you know the thing, get to know each other or whatever. Stir it around. Smelling it, marveling in the scent, realizing that it is hot and you have now burnt your face, and then adding in your mirepoix, which is basically onions, carrots, and celery, but I did not have any celery. And then add in your garlic last, because I don't know if you know, but that stuff burns really quickly. And then once everything is nice and fragrant, dump in your tomato sauce. Admire yourself in the apron, feel pretty in the apron. Bring that to a boil, then lower it to a simmer, cover it halfway through, make sure to check on it every couple of minutes and adding in your beef stock. Very simple recipe. I kind of combined a recipe from Binging with Babish and what's that dude's name? Ed Sheeran, but he cooks. Jamie Oliver. Is he Australian or British? That's racist of me. Yeah, I forgot to take a photo of the finished product, but here's some other stuff that I cooked. Canny salad, some honey glazed spare ribs, kimchi fried rice, a bunch of other crap, and dalgona coffee. Now, I don't drink coffee. It turns my depression blues into anxiety jitters. No, legit though, like, it makes my hand do one of these, and I can't stop it, and it's not a nice feeling. So I usually drink tea or hot chocolate or any other coffee alternative that has less caffeine. Now since I did not want to do dalgona coffee, I did a Milo substitute. But please know that if you are going to make a Milo substitute or any hot chocolate substitute, you have to add egg instead of water. I learned that the hard way. So, it was pretty fun at first. Like, it was changing color. I was using a really small, tiny whisk, and it was getting volume and all that stuff. But then it started to get very taxing, and I gave up, threw away the tiny whisk, and used a hand mixer, an electric hand mixer. Now, even if I had this mixer on a high speed, it still took me 25 minutes. And also, in those 25 minutes, you get very bored. And that is when I realized that the brand of my electric hand mixer is Imerflex. Like, I'ma flex on you, cause I made my little, I gave up. Even if it wasn't forming stiff peaks, it started forming soft peaks, which was enough for me because I'm pretty sure it was gonna taste the same anyway. So I did the thing, I did that stupid thing where you put the iced coffee and you do the froth thing and you make it look real nice and pretty. Then, after 30 minutes of labor, finally I got to taste it. It was not worth it. I was very disappointed. Fake news, bad trend, 10 out of 10, would not recommend. I also almost gave up halfway, but then, I got determined for some reason. Probably because I was thinking of this video. Yeah, you see? I think of you. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I made, while I was on a drunk video chat call with Ian and Dre from GeekPD. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Music. I was on a drunk call with them, and then Dre started craving pancit canton, so I tried to make my own version of a satay sauce for yakisoba, where basically I add in peanut butter, rice wine vinegar, soy sauce, chili garlic, oil from the chili garlic, and my secret ingredient, mirin. Not a lot of people like mirin, but trust me, it's what makes every Asian cuisine dish really good. It's also like one of the best pasta sauces that I've ever tasted. Don't at me. Anyway, moving on. Gardening. Oh my god, I love gardening. I actually made a YouTube video already called A Drunk Rant on Owning Herbs, but I haven't uploaded it yet. I probably should make an updated version. This is my updated version. Anyway, I love gardening. I especially like taking care of herbs because they are all edible, and I like taking care of things and putting it in my food. So, I'm going to share with you my collection of herbs that were once on my windowsill but are now transferred to a plant box outside so they can get a healthy amount of sunshine. I have a beautiful pot of chives, cilantro that I just harvested, a really, really beautiful mint plant. Now this mint plant, mind you, died, and then I snipped it, and I was about to, get rid of the... Well, I wasn't gonna get rid of the soil. I was about to reuse the soil, but then something magical happened. It just started sprouting these really small leaves. And it's back. It's on its way to a full recovery. Nature is amazing. I also have a cactus that one of my best friends gave me, and this empty pot which once had a beautiful, beautiful stalk of dill. May she rest in peace. Not doing so well is my rosemary, which has been with me for almost a year now, but unfortunately because of the heat, is perishing. Last but not the least is this beautiful, tall, majestic blue turnip plant. Now I have a story about this blue turnip plant. It is very tall but also very thin. And I had a problem because the wind would blow it to the side and I would have to every morning take it and put it behind the bars. But then, another reason why nature is amazing, it solved its own problem one morning when I realized that one of the vines just creeped around the bar. And it's basically like a person in the LRT holding onto your life when it starts. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, ride the train. That's transport, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my plants, at least the ones that used to be on my windowsill. But I also did a little experiment 30 days ago. My sister came home with 10 stems of basil. And they were beautiful. I didn't want to get rid of them. They were a vibrant color. They had a very, very nice basil smell. Duh. I wanted to replant them. So I asked some of my friends who are also into home economics how to propagate these plants. So I did 3 experiments, 4 of them in potting soil, 3 of them in a mix of potting soil and regular soil, and 3 in a glass jar. Now apparently, if you leave it long enough in the glass jar, it will eventually grow roots. 2 of them died, but then one of them, after 30 days, grew roots. And it's awesome. It's awesome seeing, life do a thing. The other stalks did not do so well either in the pot where I put it in potting mix. 2 of them lived. No, 1 of them lived. I can't even count anymore. I looked at one of the stems in the mix of potting soil and regular soil, and I realized that its leaves were a lot fresher than the others, as you can see visibly here. So what I did was, I took them all out, put them in a really nice big basin, and then I took them out of their soil. Now remember, do not remove stems from their mother's soil. Take the soil with them and gently put them to the side. I then took the potting mix and I mixed it in with the rest of the very fertile soil of the very fresh stem. I then took the propagated stem, which now had some beautiful white roots growing from it, and I put them all into one happy family pot. They are gorgeous, they smell great, they are growing very fast. I'm so excited because once they get to grow, that means that I can have pesto all year round. It's really hot. Now, unfortunately, some of these stems did not make it. In fact, 60% of them passed away. May they rest in peace, but then this is why I say that gardening sometimes may be a hit or miss situation. Not everyone's gonna make it, but then the ones that do, you're gonna take care of those guys like it's no one's business. I'm so happy to be a parent. Let's take a quick break. I want everyone to remember that no matter how bored I got, I did not make a TikTok.
I found this rat on the street and he looked really like tired, like dehydrated or something odd, I don't know. So I brought him to some shelter and I don't know if this was the right thing to do, but I got him a little happy.
Anyway.
And he seems to be liking it. Are you liking it?
If you're a very close friend of mine or a family member, you may know that I am in... Oh god, here we go. If you're a very close friend of mine or you're a family member, you may know that I have gotten back into the very deep rabbit hole known as K-pop. More specifically, the fantastic girl group Twice. Okay, look, hear me. I used to have a very unhealthy obsession with Girls' Generation, and ever since then I never got into K-pop. But then I saw the Feel Special music video, which in turn let me fall in love with this individual known as Kim Taehyun. Kim Taehyun, also known as Dubu, which is tofu, because tofu is white, just like her beautiful white skin. Anyway, I wanted to see more content of Taehyun, so I started to go to YouTube and look at compilations. If you're a fan of K-pop, you know where I'm going with this. I started to look at compilations of funny and cute moments between the members, and I started to fall in love with each and every single one of them because of their personalities, skill, and just overall beauty. Now, where am I going with this? Basically, I love Twice. They are amazing. I love all their music. I love everything about them. And I wanted to use this opportunity to get back in touch with my exercising. My favorite form of exercise is dancing. I know it's an art, it's not a sport, it's not whatever. I wanted for this video rather, and for, to stay productive, I wanted to learn the dance break of Feel Special. And no, I'm not talking about the chorus, you know the one. I'm talking about this bit. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Now you can tell from this video, with my lack of enthusiasm, that I did not have fun doing this dance routine. You see, okay, at first I was in denial. I was watching the video, I was enjoying it, I started to try to learn the moves as I watched it. But then I started to realize, as you can see by my facial expression, that this dance routine was very difficult. It was really hard. I don't know how they do it. Now these women, all of them younger than me by at least a year, mind you, have been training since they were teenagers, or sometimes even younger than that. It takes years, so they make it look so easy. They look so beautiful. They got the costumes on, the makeup, the beautiful hair, and they just dance like it's the easiest thing in the world. So I put myself to the test. I got in front of the camera, I started dancing, and I'll admit it felt pretty good. It felt pretty good to dance again. I haven't danced in a while since I got into radio and podcasting. And I remembered how fun it was. Here's a quick montage of myself dancing freestyle as a warm-up.
Casio, playing on my heart just like a Casio, breaking it apart so you can let it go. Oh, wait another year, that's not original. I'm cynical, alright, let's go now. When all your dreams are gone and you're still holding on.
Of course, my dad just had to butt in. Now, I looked up a dance tutorial and I started to try to learn the dance routine bit by bit. It was very difficult. So eventually, at one point, I gave up. I couldn't do it. It was hard. I didn't want to do it. I started at 11. It was already 2:30. I had been dancing for hours. It was really hot. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
You can!
I don't want to. It's not worth it.
Can!
I can't do it.
Can! Special!
I'm just kidding. Of course I did it. Of course I finished the thing. But before I get to that, this means that you have made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to click like, subscribe, and comment down below what you did during the quarantine. I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, this is technically the first YouTube video on my channel At this point, I don't even have a name for my channel yet, so feel free to give me some constructive criticism. But just know, I am very sensitive and I do not take criticism well. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hopefully by the time I post this video, the quarantine will be over and it won't get extended, but if ever it does get extended, I wish you and your family the best of luck through this quarantine. This too shall pass, and it becomes all that much easier when you realize how lucky you are in the situation that you get to be in a home, healthy, spending time with your relatives, quality time that is well needed, by the way, and you get to appreciate the things that you took for granted before. So yeah, as I leave you with this dance break, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. I don't have an outro. Let's try this. Love you.